Blessed Rising Soul Family, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, this is Soul Family Oracle, where I deliver messages from the divine, from the depth of our soul and our ancestors. And if you're returning, thank you so much as always. Today's message, I had to do quite a bit of deep diving in meditation, and to some extent, meditation to get the last bit of information that I needed. And this is like a message that I feel like has been putting itself together for about 2 years now. So I'm going to start with where it all began, or the first, not the first, but for this particular message, where it started really. And this message is specifically for a group of people that belong to an Oceanoid family, or you had in one of your past lives, you manifested as an oceanoid, some kind of oceanoid, but like this is like very ancient. It was giving me, and I had to write these things down because it's like this is something that I feel like it's going to be very important to somebody at some point along the line. I feel like there's like a futuristic aspect to this message, especially also because of how this message came through. It's like the first time this message came through was through a dream. But looking back then at when I received the first visions of it, and looking at now when I have the rest of the pieces together, it makes so much more sense. But it also feels like it's not even fully unraveled yet. It feels like this is just like a tip of the iceberg. So this message basically says that Whale and Orca elders are leading you to your Oceanoid family in times of danger. The in times of danger is the part where the futuristic energy comes in. But the main message is like it's something that feels very present right now in this moment. And this dream I had almost 2 years ago. In the dream, I was in danger and there were people after me. And it seemed like these people were so powerful that they had people everywhere looking out for them. They had spies everywhere looking out for me, and like people targeting me, and I wasn't safe anywhere. So I would run from one place to the other, and they would find me. And at some point, I found a place to hide, and the place was with somebody that I trusted, like was with somebody that was kind of like a friend or a family member, somebody that I really trusted. Only for me to find out later that they were also playing on the other side, and they turned me in 333 on the timer. And I had to run from there when I found out. But somehow it's like every time they were coming after me, I would find out, like something would prompt me or give me a clue or like show me something to let me know that the people had betrayed me, or they were about to betray me, or they were coming after me. And so I ran from this place, and it's like I had nowhere else to go, and I was frustrated. And something like either like an energy or like a voice, it wasn't like fully, it wasn't really like a body. It was like a presence, but more than, it felt more than a presence. It felt more alive than a presence. However, it wasn't as visible as, a physical presence. And it said, you go to your family in the waters. You have family in the waters. They will save you, they will help you, they will protect you. And it's like when I heard that, I was it was almost like this person was like guiding me, but guiding me through my mind's eye. It was like the person was guiding me through my mind's eye. It's almost like the person like opened something in my mind to show me how to get to my Oceanoid family, how to get, not Oceanoid in this dream. It was more like water. The word that was used was water. It was like a what like a water body, like a water, more than a water body. But let's just say, I don't want to try and keep going digging into try and find a better word. So, and it's like through that vision I walked through, I went, like under, yes, and then he said, go under the earth, go under the earth. That is where you will find your water family. And through the vision, I go 555 on the timer. I go like through a hole. It's like he shows me some not like a hole, but like kind of like a tunnel, but really like a hole. And I go through this hole, and as I'm going, it gets wider and wider, and I keep going, and then I start to like meet water. And I walked through the water just a little bit, and it was like a whole new, it was like an underground, but bigger than an underground. It's almost like it was like kind of like an underground place, but it wasn't really like an underground place. It had like its own sky or something like that. And it felt like a totally different place. It felt like I had been moved from the earth plane where I was. It felt like I had been moved away from everything behind me, like what I was running from. Like it felt like everything had just fallen behind me, like a whole new reality. So this was the first dream, right? This dream kind of like really highlighted a side to me that I always felt or had clues about. But it gave me, it's almost like the dream activated something in me of my knowing of this lineage or this family, right? Okay, so with this Will and Orca elders, right, are leading you to your Oceanoid family. It's like this energy that was leading me, or that was like telling me or reminding me that I have a family in under the earth in the waters that I can go to for help and protection. It's like this, like Will and Orca orders. You understand? And I feel like there's a much bigger significance to the Will and the Orca. So for somebody, like if this message resonates with you, go and look up like the spiritual significance of the Will and the Orca. Okay. And this energy of like lost lineages, it's almost like this is even like this, like a very ancient, like in some sense not even known to man. It's not even like a lost land or lost lineage, like it's not even known. And it's like the place was like, how do I say it? Let me check the note. It was like there was no technology, but it's like there was highly advanced mechanics and mode of communication. And it's like the mode of communication was through telepathy. The mode of communication was like through telepathy. So it was just like for whoever, like I'm speaking to somebody who belongs to, I'm getting tribe, but before tribe, I was getting family. So family and tribe. This is like from the healer's deck. There's a card on it that says family and tribe. This is somebody that belongs to like a water family that is very ancient, that is very like very ancient. And another thing that was coming through was like the manifestation of the form that this tribe comes in, or like this like energy comes in. It's like it's almost like they are not humans, or like the body is not really like a typical humanoid body, but it's like it's more of an energy. It's almost like their form is like it's more of an energy, and some manifest in like animal form, just like the whale and the orca, but more of like a, yeah. And the next thing was how I was saying, I feel like this message has been coming together for 2 years, because the other part of it coming together and painting the full picture happened just recently, which is when that was also revealed to me in a vision from a dream, where I was guided to like an orca and like a whale, basically like an orca and a whale. It was like two different, it wasn't a dolphin. And when I woke up, I spent a long time, 122 on the timer and now 123. I spent a long time trying to figure out what kind of fishnoid being I had seen, and it was big. And it was two different types, two different ones. So when I got the revelation of the whale and the orca elders, that was just like yesterday. But when I got the revelation of it, it just sparked that immediately, because the image, or the faint image or faint remembrance I have, was basically like a fishnoid being that looked like kind of like a whale, and one with more of like a different kind of texture and color to it, like an orca. But anyway, 11:11 on the timer. Thank you, Spirit. I was beginning to wonder if I'm going crazy. That's confirmation right there that I'm okay. Okay. All right. So it's like, anyway, so back to the second dream. It's like I was guided to like this like will and orca being that felt like very like ancient beings, spiritual beings, but like very ancient, that belonged to like a very ancient tribe of like fishnoid and or oceanoid beings. And this particular one was giving me more like oceanoid. Unlike the first dream was giving me more like water, specifically water, but like in this one, it was giving me the energy of like oceanoid. And the other part I remember from the dream was the part where I was led to this like oceanoid city, right? And before recording this audio, I specifically wanted to remember 1221 and now 1222. I wanted to specifically like remember and channel how I got there, how I ended up there, and like different bits and pieces of the revelation. And this is where I'm saying like, because it's been my energy keeps picking up as I go on in the video, and that's really good for me, because like I felt almost a bit like drained right before the video, because I was a bit spaced out from, I don't know if I should say where I had been. Again, let me just ask for your opinion. I've been thinking of, adding a membership section to the channel, so that I can make certain messages members only, because a lot of the messages that have been coming through recently feel very specific. And I think it's because like we've shifted timelines, a lot of us. And then these timelines that we've shifted, like we've shifted on the timelines of literally 1331 on the timeline. We've shifted on the timelines of our past selves. Our soul's memories are coming back. And so it's like some of these messages are beginning to become like really like highly specific, um I don't know, messages that hold like deep meaning and truth to not only our soul's true identity, but also to the universe, because our soul is attached to the universe, which means all the memory of our soul holds, like depending on like, especially also how old your soul is, 1411 on the time, and depending on how old your soul is also, like especially like how much memory your soul has from how far back. So if you're an ancient being, can you imagine like what memory your soul has from the ancient past? Okay, so with the second dream, it's like I was guided to like this like orca and whale, yeah, like I was saying, describing, right? And I wanted to get more clarity and like depth into the that particular vision. And it's like it's from, okay, so from what I saw. And another thing, the futuristic part, This is going to happen for somebody in the future. Somebody is going to have a very out of worldly experience in the ocean where they will be led to an oceanoid city or oceanoid inhabitant or oceanoid town, something like that. And whoever I'm speaking to also, or whoever this message pertains to, again, you belong to a very ancient, like oceanoid family, or like oceanoid, like, like species. I'm feeling to say species, yes, oceanoid species, yes, of, I don't know, people. Take it how it resonates. So 155 on the timer, 555 on the timer. There's something about the change, your appearance, like their appearance and the humanoid appearance is quite different, but there's it's like there was an evolution that allowed some of them to evolve into a humanoid like form, a humanoid like, so not exactly a humanoid like, but like close to like a humanoid form, where they have like maybe two legs and two hands and like a head and maybe like eyes and nose, and a humanoid, you understand, as compared to like other forms, and like maybe an animal, and well, an animal also has two legs and two hands, but you get what I mean. And these two different forms live together harmoniously, I'm hearing, harmoniously and together, intermingle and everything. Hmm. And this difference is something coming up about, you may have encountered some of these beings or these family members, but in that form, and so you didn't recognize them. Or you may have encountered them in, like, it's like, imagine like maybe like how um like maybe you lose a grandmother, and then you encounter a very special butterfly, or like or like a butterfly visit you at a very crucial moment to come and console you, or like a very downing moment, and then it brings you like a brighter day or something like that. But it's like this difference in forms, it's like I'm needing to highlight that for some, this encounter would be or might be in a form that they are used to, because you have become the evolved version of your species. You have become the evolved version of your species. And if this evolved version didn't happen through a physical process, it happened through a spiritual process. Again, this is not a very like physical, it's like I'm hearing interplane. I don't know what that means, but like interplane, and kind of like, yeah, interplane. It's like in the middle or something like that. In the middle of two planes, like in the middle of two planes. At the edge of two planes or something like that. The fine line, you know, and yeah. So in the dream, another thing, like again, this it's like this one also. It's like it was like on the surface of the ocean, but not really like the surface. It's like, like the surface of the ocean, but like not to the open, in the open, something like that. And it's like to get there, we went. Let me check my notes, what I wrote down when I meditated. So I have whales and orcas, fishnoid, secret ocean city with a question mark, highly advanced. And to get there, it's like we had to like go in the open ocean first. Okay, so it was open ocean first, and deep dive, and then I have cave, water dropping, and it's like the vision I had of that was like kind of like going into the water, and basically going under the ocean, and then it led to like this part that was like a cave, and it's like in the cave is like, from, even though it was like from directly in the ocean, it's like this it's like, whew, I'm seeing it again now, but it's like how to describe it. So, but basically, like a cave underwater, Yes, thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Thank you. A cave underwater. 2002 on the timer, a cave underwater. And it's like there was like water dropping from the top. And then there's like little spikes, but not like sharp spikes, more like little round board spikes. And like board also on the walls, but and not as big. And it's like guided me through this cave. And then it's like it got to this part where what do I have special sense to see it gets dark before it gets bright. And it's like it gets to this part where it's like dark, and then you need some kind of special sense to see the opening to this like oceanoid city. And it's almost like with this thing, that's the last thing I wrote. The last thing I wrote was special sense to see it gets dark before it gets bright. It gets dark before it gets bright. So it's like it gets dark as you walk through the tunnel and go deeper, but it doesn't go so far. And then from that darkness, the next thing was like this, like really bright, and it was kind of like it was like it was like greenish, very like greenish, like oceanic, but like greenish. I don't know how to explain the color. And also like very like bright, not sparkly, but like bright, but not like over the top bright, just very beautiful. Like I'm getting teal. And that's funny because this in December I was like, I think teal, it was something I saw, and then I was like, this is a very beautiful color. It resembles turquoise. And I was like, I think teal is going to be my color for 2025 because I love how it looks. And then from when I said that, I bumped into a few things that were teal to kind of like reaffirm my my likeness for the color. So it was like, kind of like teal, you know. And it's funny, on my Streams Lab, the Streams Lab logo is teal color. The Streams Lab logo is a teal color. This is what I'm using to record right now, this particular video. 2212 on the timer. And it was just like this really like beautiful, like high rise, like city or like town, or like just like beautiful, like, you know, and it was like, what else did I have here? It was like, with highly advanced machines. And so let me go back to that part. It says Oceanoid, secret city, secret ocean city with a question mark, with highly advanced machines and a high-tech transportation. The transportation was like, it wasn't like trains, but it wasn't really like cars, and it wasn't on the road. It was like in the air, in the water air. Because the air was also filled with something. It was like water, but the water was like just like really, oh my goodness. Whew. And it was just like a really highly advanced place. And it didn't have technology, but it had like a very highly advanced, like very highly advanced mechanics, like how things, like the make of things. And a very like special way of communicating, or like a special mode of engagement with the outside world. But it's like they weren't really like engaging with the outside world, but kind of like knowing what was going on. And then it was like the engagement, and it was more like telepathy. The sound. This is coming to my mind now. It's like the sound there. It sounded like a frequency. It sounded like a frequency. Somebody might be able to connect with this Oceanoid family through frequency music. Maybe listen to like deep ocean frequency. I don't know if there's anything like that, but search that and see. Maybe in YouTube, even search and see if you can find something like deep ocean frequency music, or like, oh, maybe search like whale sound, or orca sound, or like whale music. Oh my goodness, that's it. Whale music. It just sounded like frequency. It's like now it feels like just like frequency that was just like really doing something to the whole space. It's like some kind of energy. It was like, thank you, emitting some kind of energy. And it was like just like some kind of just like sound, but like frequency, but just like in one sound. It was like frequency in one sound. Thank you, Spirit. Like frequency in one sound. Maybe meditate with like deep ocean music, or meditate with like whale music, or whale sounds, or like orca sounds, orca music. For somebody, maybe even dolphin music. Hmm. For the future element that's attached to this message, if you can remember this in the far future, maybe, if something comes up on the earth plane that makes you feel very much in danger, to the point of life and death, tap into a deeper source within to try and activate this memory of safety very, very deep within the earth. For somebody, you have knowledge of some tunnels. You have knowledge of these tunnels for a reason. Don't go about throwing them around lightly. It is special information that you have for a reason. But please listen to this message with discernment. And as always, thank you for your energy. If this message resonates with you, please like, share, subscribe to help us reach more of our soul tribe. Thank you.